What up, everybody? I'm Jack Slater, aka the Comic Outlaw, yeah, and I hope you're ready. Cause I didn't get all dressed up for nothing. As you know, the Comic Outlaw does enjoy himself a little bit of wrestling here and there. I love the WWE, the WCW. I love all the old school stuff back in the day, and I've been doing a little review here and there. I just did one of Hulk Hogan, and I talked about how should we have been surprised that Hulk Hogan went bad, that he broke bad with the NWO after the Legion of Doom incident, shaving his mustache. I went through the events, from when he was signed until like he joined the NWO, and it kind of all pieced together. I don't know if they did that by design. I know they were trying to build a heel machine for Hogan, but it just kind of evolved into that character where he became the bad guy, and it just made sense. I mean, looking back, it just made sense. Everybody was so surprised about it, but if you look back at it, you're like, yeah, they wanted to boo him, so why not give them a reason? It's the way it is, man, the way it is. But we're here to talk about another person from WCW. I would say he's the gold standard, the man that never left, the man that never sold out, the man who stayed with WCW until the doors closed. And who am I talking about? I'm talking about the man they call Sting. And this is the best of Sting. This is a nice DVD set. It does cover his years in WCW. Too bad it doesn't cover his run in TNA. He had a great run in that too. Now, this is interesting because it actually starts with his time with the Blade Runners, another company. The Blade Runners was a team with the Ultimate Warrior and Sting, and that's when they first got together and they started teaming up. They weren't that good, Warrior ended up getting into an argument with the promoter. Sting ended up staying. Sting ended up becoming the champion that he is today. His matches with Ric Flair, Vader, he's had countless different matches in the WCW. Like I said, this man is the gold standard. And like he said, he owes a lot of his wrestling ability to Ric Flair, his showmanship. Rick showed him a lot of the business. And as we open up this DVD, you can check it out. This is cool. Look at that. Look at the front and back. This is actually a really cool DVD. This has a lot of different matches, like I said, from his early Blade Runner runs, his time as U.S. champion. There was actually a time where he actually teamed up with a dog-faced gremlin. Yes. Before Scotty got there. There's a lot of cool things in here. Of course, there's his match with Flair. The time that he spent with the NWO. Now, I laid out a theory about Hogan, as I told you guys. Now, let me lay out the one that I would like to talk about, Sting. Now, Sting, around 94, was happy that Hogan came in, but he also brought in Lex, I always say that, Lex Luger. Now, Luger is a wrestler. Luther is, well, Luther. And Sting had noticed the decline of the Hero 2 had been kind of going down. And also, at this point, Sting had been jumped by the Legion of Doom. He had his friend Lex betray him. And at this point, Ric Flair was in the middle of what they would call a babyface turn. He was feuding with Arn Anderson, and he was feuding with Brian Pillman. At this point, they were the Horsemen. But they end up tricking Sting. They tag him. They get into this match where Flair asked Sting for help. Sting showed up. He fought. Flair asked for the tag. He came in and he decimated Sting. And that should have been the signal for the Four Horsemen to be back in full strength. Had I been writing, I would have brought the Four Horsemen back in at full strength. But my point to the point of the matter is, I want to step off my soapbox because we're talking about Sting, not the Horsemen. Is that Sting had been betrayed over and over again by Flair, by Luger. Hogan, quote unquote, going to the dark side and not knowing who he could trust. So there was a lot of different things, factors that I think led to Sting just kind of disappearing into the darkness. You know, besides the backstage politics and all that other stuff. And a fascinating thing, and they've actually given Scott Hall credit for this, is that he was the one that told Sting to paint his face. Yes, Scott Hall, Machismo himself, was the one that suggested that. And so Sting, when the NWO came, they framed Sting. They brought in a fake Sting, which Larry Zbyszko referred to as Stink. And using Stink, they were able to trick everyone into thinking that Sting was a bad guy. And this totally ripped up everyone, including Luger. And there's a video about this, and I really wish I could like just bring it up and show you guys. There's a video where Luger actually says that he can't trust Sting before War Games. And War Games was the contest where NWO ended up getting all the power they ended up getting, and WCW ended up losing that one. But there's a point where Luger actually says that he can't trust Sting. And this is the pot calling the kettle, because Luger has betrayed Sting, has betrayed a lot of people numerous times, and he couldn't trust him. You think Luger would have gave him the benefit of the doubt, but no. So Sting ended up becoming Crow Sting. Well, that's what they refer to him. But before that, Sting's had some phenomenal matches. Vader, Cactus Jack. He's fought people like the Great Muta. He's fought in tag teams against the likes of Harlem Heat. Sting has done it all in WCW. He was, like I said, the gold standard, the flag bearer. He never left. And Sting had a wonderful TNA run. And I wish it would have ended at that, but he decided to come to WCW. He wrestled for a while, and I thought he was treated fairly poorly. I don't know if it was Triple H, because everyone seems to blame Triple H for it, because he's the one that wrestled him. I think it might have been Vince wanting a final decisive victory over WCW. And so they had a match in WrestleMania, Sting versus Triple H. The NWO came down to help Sting, which Sting was a member of the Wolfpack, never a member of White and Black. So I don't know. Of course, DX came down. X-Pac ended up being on DX's side. Triple H won. Oh yeah, spoilers for something that happened many, many years ago in WrestleMania, a long time ago. It's just case, blah blah. And Sting ended up wrestling a while longer, and then he got into a feud with Seth Rollins, and Seth dropped him on his back with a buckle bomb. And if you watch this, it was extremely fucked up the way he dropped him. I knew by watching it that he hurt Sting. That he should not be allowed to do that move. That move done wrong is extremely unsafe. The way you drop someone on that buckle isn't exactly stuffing and cushion, if you know what I'm saying. It has a little bit of cushion on it, but it has a big steel part of it that hooks all the ropes together. And that ended up hurting Sting really bad, where he had to step away from wrestling for a while. They inducted him in the Hall of Fame, but I think Sting knew that his run was pretty much over at that point. And I don't think really Sting enjoyed the experience too much. And then Sting ended up going to AEW, where he currently is now. He's doing a good job, kind of being the side shadow, spotlighting other people, doing his thing every once in a while. And yes, if you ever watch TNA, watch the Joker Sting run. Yes, Sting becomes a variation of Joker in the paint. It is worth freaking watching. People say there's never anything good on TNA. I say nay, nay. You just have to look for the good spots. Just like people complain there's nothing good on WCW, you have to look. And yes, there were highlights in TNA, and Sting was part of them. He was part of the main event Mafia. He did a lot of things there. It's worth checking out Sting's TNA career as well if you're a big Sting fan. This Sting right here was the quintessential Sting. This was the Sting that everyone loved, knew about, because when the NWO became popular, Sting became kind of the superhero in the rafters, which was interesting, but everything tended to get stale after a while. Sting ended up joining the Wolfpack, and that ran its course. He had red paint, and then he became the white paint Sting. He ended up kind of just doing his thing in WCW. Went to TNA, had a great run. You should look up WWE, which I explained, and now AEW. This man has had a wonderful career. He's been blessed to be in different organizations that have taken him in, and his legacy does live on, both in and outside WWE. He is just one of those characters that just continues, his legacy just continues to live on like a shadow in the night. He is vengeance and he will fight. And though he dwells in darkness, this man, this shade, serves the light. And you'll never know the trouble he'll bring until the day you show up and you're looking in the eyes of Sting. And I'm Jack Slater, and I'm stepping off my soapbox, talking to you about Sting. Recommend the DVD. I also recommend you looking him up on TNA. You'll find some wonderful stuff. Wonderful stuff about Sting. And as always, I'm the Comic Outlaw, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Yeah.